All right. So I listened to the call. You handled that pretty good.
I'm alright. I'm alright.
No, that was pretty good. That was pretty good.
Thank you,
So
man.
yeah,
But don't,
what you were doing was getting his buy box, building that relationship. It sounds like you did a really good job. I'm proud of you. That was pretty good, especially for a
thank
newbie.
you, man. Thank you so much. Yeah, I mean, I was basically I used PropStream to make like an Excel sheet of all the buyers in Baytown, which is where that property is. And I've
Hmm.
just been calling all day. I have it listed already on Facebook and Craigslist, but I'm getting a lot of like stupid people, not stupid people, I'm sorry. They're not stupid, but they're just asking me if it's available and I answer and they just leave me on red. Like a lot of people are doing that.
Yeah,
So
that's gonna happen.
yeah, so I've took a more active approach. I just started calling people and I've got some interest, but no one's like really biting the bullet just yet. I got a couple that are really interested, but still no one's like really ready to move forward yet.
I think that I think that you need to work on how you explain creative financing to someone who doesn't understand it.
Yeah, for sure. That's still something that I'm kind of learning about myself. So
Okay, so explain creative financing to me. You
so
have a deal, right? This deal is subject to, right?
this is subject. So should I explain subject to
Yeah,
or
explain
what?
this deal to me. Sell me this deal.
Dang, the pressure's on now. Okay, so essentially, what a subject to is a investment strategy where you take over a not take over, I'm sorry. It's an investment strategy where you pay the owner's mortgage without actually taking over, but the deed's still going into your name. Does that make sense? I feel like there's a better way.
Yeah, keep
But
going.
so okay. Oh, yeah. So essentially what the way it'd work is you'd pay an entry fee to the seller that when after the closing, you then start paying the original owner's mortgage on a monthly basis. So it's essentially as if it's similar to I would say a seller finance, but what you're doing is you're paying off their mortgage.
Okay.
I don't know what else to say. You
No,
could you
no.
could critique me.
No, that's all good. Okay. So essentially what a subject to is I like what you said to the guy before. You said you're not taking on the risk of the actual debt for the mortgage, but you own the property. So that's correct. So if someone says to me, or what is subject to? How do I make money on the deal? If you're talking to now, this guy you were talking to was a flipper. So
Yeah.
converting him, changing him to a buy and hold, you're already ice skating uphill. But it was a good shot and it was great practice. So if someone is already a buy and hold guy, then you want to drive straight into focusing on the cash flow. So I'll say it to you. So here's the situation. I got this property under contract. We got it under subject to. Are you familiar with subject to? No, no, I'm not. Okay, so basically, the sellers of the property already have a mortgage in place. They have a great interest rate, much lower than today's interest rate. And because of that, we're able to capitalize on that monthly payment. So all they're asking for is a down payment to basically walk away. The mortgage is going to stay in their name until you pay it off or refinance it, however you want to do it on your end. You're going to give them a lump sum cash payment of $45,000. They're going to walk away. You put a tenant in there, and based off our math, if you charge X, Y, and Z for the rent against their mortgage, which is X, Y, and Z, then you'll make out with, ABC as far as cash flow per year is what we're projecting.
Is
If
that
you
is that
don't want to, if you don't want to go that deep into it, you can literally start with the beginning. Basically, we're capitalizing on the fact that they have a much lower interest rate and therefore monthly payment than you would have if you went to the bank. So instead of giving your down payment to the bank, give it to them. They're going to walk away. The mortgage is going to stay in their name. So you're not taking on the liability of that debt. And then you put a tenant in there, you cash flow, and all you're doing is making the mortgage payment every month at that low interest rate. And we're projecting that your cash on cash return should be somewhere around, and then whatever the calculator says.
okay, I see. Do you pitch that all in one go or are
Yeah.
you oh okay.
When I'm talking to a buyer,
Yeah.
yeah. If they don't understand, I want to make sure that they understand. And what I'm harping on is the cash flow
Okay.
and the fact that we're utilizing their old, and by there I mean the seller's interest rate and monthly payment and the timing that they got it, because it's much lower than what today's is. Then I'm matching what they are already normally do, and I'm just changing the medium. Just like you would give a down payment to a bank if you were going to buy this place traditionally, instead of giving it to the bank, you're just going to give it to the seller. They're going to walk away. The mortgage is going to stay in their name. You don't have to worry about the debt. You just make that mortgage payment. Put it tenant in there and cash flow. Your cash flow is looking like it's going to be about 12%, but you need to run your numbers.
I see. Okay. All right. So I got to really just practice that on my own time later.
Well, you have to make sure you understand it.
No,
you can explain something if you understand it. So explain it to me the way I just explained it to you, or some variation of it. You don't have to be exact.
Okay. So are you familiar with what a sub 2 is? No, I'm not.
No.
So essentially what a sub 2 is that you're taking over the seller's mortgage without actually taking on the risk, but the deed is moving into your name. So for example, what you'd be doing is you pay the seller an XYZ entry amount, and then from then pay their current PITI. So for example, let's just say we pay the seller $10,000 for an entry fee. And then every month following the closing, the PITI, the monthly mortgage, would be around $1,000 or so. So it would make sense for an investor to take up on this kind of deal, because knowing that the rental value would go for $1,500 and the mortgage is only $1,000, the property would be cash flowing from the get-go. So essentially this is a cash flow deal, not so much an equity deal.
Much better. That was much better. Now, the only thing that I would steer away from, and this is just me, if this is your personality, then you can etch a sketch whatever I'm about to tell you. But I wouldn't get into specifics. Now, I know you were making it up for the example, so I'm not, not going to kneecap you. But be careful when you're talking about specifics, because you don't know exactly what margins each buyer run through. So you want to keep things a little bit vague so they don't misconstrue what you're saying as like false advertising. So that's why I said, based off of my calculations, your cash on cash return should be somewhere around 12%. But you have to run your own numbers to double check. I literally say that whole line at the end.
Yeah, I forgot to say that.
Well, it's your first time, and I put you on spot.
The actual percentages, the interest rates. Yeah, I forgot to say that. Okay, gotcha.
But no, other than that, yeah, practice that, and you'll be absolutely fine explaining it. Just remember that you're giving them the numbers from the seller financing or subject to or hybrid tab. That's the numbers you're giving them, because that's going to include the closing costs. That's going to include the assignment fee, the realtor fee if there is one. It's going to include all that.
Okay, I got you. Okay, yeah, I'll definitely be working on that soon. Man, I've like so many things I want to ask you. Okay, well, first off, before I forget, while I know we were supposed to call at 4, during that time when you were busy and I was also busy, I was talking to this realtor that she called me out of nowhere. So she says that her seller is open to a owner finance. So this is going to be the first one that I'll deal with.
Nice.
It's an owner finance. She hasn't presented the terms, but she's confident that the seller's going to be okay with it. The entry, including my wholesale fee, is 11%.
Okay.
All right. The thing is, this wouldn't cash flow as a rental, but it would cash flow as an Airbnb. Not just that, but this is in Houston. It's in a problem area. It's near the medical center, so a lot of nurses go by there.
So it could even be a midterm rental. Okay.
I don't know how to calculate that exactly, because all I know is Airbnb from the simulation that we ran last time.
All right. What is the cash on cash return for a short-term rental?
So that's also what I was going to ask you. I'll show you my screen right now. I don't know what the hell is happening, but it's bugging out the deal calculator, the deal machine. Let me screen share for you.
Okay.
Don't
show anything too crazy. Don't forget, this is going to go on YouTube.
Yeah, I got you. Let me see. Let me just verify real quick. Yeah, it's nothing crazy. Yeah, this is just the tab. Do you see just the tab?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is it right here, man.
Okay.
So this is what I mean. It's showing two. I don't know why, but
because you didn't put in any of the expenses. So you see the bottom monthly expense key.
That's why.
So do me a favor and max all those numbers out.
Okay, is that why?
Yeah, remember anything that's blue, you have to fill out if it pertains to whatever deal you're working on. Now, I'm a little, oh, never mind. I see it. The numbers, they're just backwards. Yeah, there you go. Down to 47% cash on cash return. That makes more sense.
Okay. Yeah.
Looks good.
We'll see. So I'm going to go ahead and present that to them.
And the cash on cash return for a long term, oh, is 0.17. Yeah, that's not going to work.
Yeah, 5.17. I mean, look here, it's 2,800 versus 4,000. So
yeah.
So yeah, and yeah, the entry. This is probably the lowest one I've seen so far.
That's a good one. That's a good.
I broke a rule here. This is a little bit of an expensive property. It's over 350.
That's okay. I mean, as long as you can handle it. The only reason I tell people to do that, and this is actually a great example. So if this property were $250,000, for example, right? Then and assuming the same percentages were the same, your total entry fee would be what? 25, 35, $45,000. And because you went up in price, as far as the purchase price, now you're at $61,500, and that's not even including realtor commission. Are we paying realtor commission on this one?
I'm not sure yet, actually.
I mean, probably not. What's the down payment? 50? 40?
No, the down payment is low. It's 36.
Yeah, they can pay the realtor commission out of that. Yeah, I mean, I think this is a good deal. Now, do me a favor. Put $15,000 into the realtor commission part just in case.
You think the seller would be okay with that?
Well, that's what. No. We have to look at it. What it looks like for the buyer.
Oh, you're saying the buyer's okay with it? So the buyer's paying the realtor commissions.
Correct. So go ahead and click on seller finance again. So your entry fee percentage is still good. It's less than 15%, and your cash on cash return is still 46. Yeah, you're still good.
Okay.
I mean, obviously, we would rather not pay 15 or charge 15 because now we're at a $76,000 entry fee. But yeah, the deal absolutely makes sense, especially if it works well as a midterm rental. Once you get it under contract, I'll show you how to underwrite it as a midterm rental, and then I'll upload that video too.
Okay, gotcha. Oh yeah, another thing. She's aware that I'm wholesaling.
Nice.
I love telling the truth now. Like it's
good,
fulfilling. And
it's easier, right?
It's much easier because like
you can just have a conversation with them and just let them know what the deal is.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the thing is, she wants me to use a TREC contract, and I told her as long as we have the seller finance addendum and the clause that states that I can assign it, I'm okay with it. Is that fine?
Yeah, you just also need to make sure that the EMD isn't due until after the inspection period, and the inspection period should be 14 business days, a minimum of 7 business days, and that's business, not calendar.
Noted. Okay, gotcha. Okay, well, now I'm just sitting on my hands waiting to see what the seller says. I just sent her like a better drafted email. I didn't even realize that the calculator now puts the years of payment.
Oh, so, the term? Yeah, we added that in there.
I didn't know that, and I actually put like 46 years for the term. And she was like, no, we can't do that. I was like, that's fine. We'll do 30 years. But what she wanted was to pay off in like 5 years. And I said, here's what we can do. We can do 30 years amortization on a 7-year balloon. Is that fine?
You should have went a little bit higher on the balloon because you're a little up on your purchase price.
Mm-hmm.
Usually,
I said 10-year balloon. Did I say 10 or 7?
If you said 10, that's so much better. Let's really hope you said 10.
Okay, I gotcha.
10 would, and it's just because you got to remember, put yourself in the buyer's position. What are they doing? They either have to have that money, cash in their bank account to pay the seller off when the balloon comes due, or they're more than likely they're going to refinance the house into their name, do a cash out refi, and pay it off. Well, once they do that, now they have a mortgage, they have an interest rate, and it's cutting into their cash flow.
I gotcha. Okay. Noted. I'll go ahead and update that. Actually, the proper sheet, I don't think my partner sent it yet, right? You haven't sent it yet? No, he hasn't sent it yet. So I'll have him do that later. But yeah, okay. So I got this one cooking up, and then I have another one. That's the one I was asking you about in the chat. It was a historic district. So,
okay. Tell me about it.
So yeah, in Houston, we have historic districts. I don't know if that's just a Houston thing, but basically you can't really mess with it in terms of renovation. And
Right.
even in terms of rental value, it's not the best, honestly. Like the area is nice because it's a preserved area. It's probably
Okay.
good for a homestead, but it's not really going to cash flow you much. So I was thinking maybe a homestead buyer could purchase this. Because when I was calculating the numbers, if they accepted my offer, that would be around like also like 12% entry fee, including my wholesale cost.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I mean, you know what I'm going to say. If there's a 1% chance that you can get it moved, get it under contract and try and sell it.
okay. Yeah. So I'm also working on that. But yeah, so that's 1, 2, 3 deals creative finance wise that I'm working on. And actually, I'm getting so much traction this week because yesterday, um, you know how I was dispoing this on my own? I listed it on Facebook groups and all that. I put my phone number in there, right?
Right.
And one day I got a text from a VA out of nowhere. And she was
Okay.
like, "Hey, I'm willing to work for cheap." I was like, "You know what?" Because I had experiences with VAs before. But my VA that I work with, after some time, like I no longer used him. He's already working on other things, so I never really considered it again. But she took the time to do a cold outreach on me, and it had a really great impression on me. And so I was like, yeah, let's go ahead and try it. So yesterday I started using her services. We're just doing like a 1-week trial, but she's been a beast. She's been sending like 50 a day at least. And
Is she cleaning up the numbers and everything?
what was that?
Is she cleaning up the numbers?
Yeah, she's cleaning up the numbers and
Okay,
everything.
good.
So I told her
Good.
like basically whatever I would do other than actually talking to the realtor, she would do, right?
Okay. Okay.
And literally, I tell her to start before I wake up. So when I'm in bed, I would literally get calls from realtors. Like it's not email replies; it's literally calls. So they're actually interested in possibly working on a creative finance deal with me. So
That's
far,
what's
like
up.
my time has been like well spent. As soon as I'm on my computer, I'm not creating deals, but I'm actually talking to sellers. I'm actually
Yeah,
talking to
that's
realtors.
one thing that Calvin and I always try and preach to people. When you get to a certain level, you want to be making $100 an hour decisions, not $10 an hour decisions, like doing cold calls.
Okay, I see. Yeah, so I've been working with her for the past 2 days. She's been lovely. And yeah, we're just on a 1-week trial. So,
That's what's up, dude.
but yeah, I mean, I think this call we're not even talking about what this call is supposed to be about. It was supposed to be about dispo. Sorry about that.
No, that's okay. I sent you the video link, and that's basically what I was going to go over. And to be perfectly honest with you, it sounds like you've already got that process unlocked as far as pushing deals on Facebook. The only thing that I would recommend is that if you're going to be doing homestead deals, make sure you gear your marketing material towards people who would be interested in that, not so much investors.
So I leave out obviously the cash on cash stuff and all that.
Yeah, you want to gear it towards, okay, so here's an example for investors, like a headline, right?
Yeah.
Amazing cash flowing deal in Houston.
Mm-hmm.
That's the headline. Okay. So, and let's say it's a sub 2. Well, now it's going to be a homestead buyer deal. So now your opening is going to be buy this home with no credit.
Mm-hmm.
You see the difference?
Yeah. Okay.
And
So,
in the investor disposition materials, and I'm going to put an example of my disposition materials in the chat, like the main chat, as soon as I'm done. I did the first dispo video, and then I'll do the rest of the videos. Hopefully I'll be done with them by Monday, and then I'll get all that plus the disposition materials, at least an example of it, for each type of deal. So one will be for an investor and one will be for a homestead buyer. You guys can just basically copy the format, plug and play the information.
nice. Okay, perfect. I'll be looking into that then. But yeah, I mean, I've only been posting on Facebook and I've been blasting in groups. I put it on the marketplace.
Marketplace is a banger for homestead deals
Okay.
because people are usually there looking for rent. You can list it as a rent to own.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I saw Facebook about it like that.
Yeah, you can do it as a rent, as a lease to own. You can do it as a financing already in place.
Change the email saying this is the update.
That's another good one. There's a bunch of. I'm going to put it all in the video. There's a bunch of good ones though.
Nice. Okay. What else? I mean, I put on Craigslist too. I haven't got any traction on that.
Ooh, be careful on Craigslist.
Why?
Because you get murdered on Craigslist.
Oh,
Yeah, just be careful on Craigslist.
No,
Anyway,
I'm so about that.
was there anything else I could answer for you?
Um, 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 no, I'm just chilling right now, man. This is like becoming clockwork now. I'm starting to get used to it. Like again, I told you, I've been in other creative finance groups, honestly speaking,
Well,
and
hold
no
that
one,
hold that thought for a second, because what I'd like to do, and I'll leave this part in the video, it doesn't matter. If you don't have any more questions, I'm going to end this recording. And
okay.
then I'm actually going to start another recording because I want to get your opinion on Deal Sniper. The good, the bad, and everything in between.
I think we did that already. I don't know if you remember, but if you want me to do it again, I'll do it.
Yeah, I want to talk. I want to see how it's going. Because
Yeah,
now
sure.
you're getting things dialed in. You've got a VA now. I want to see how it's going. Kind of piggyback a little bit off of how you've been kind of making it like clockwork, like you said, just so that people who are not as dialed in as you are maybe have something that they can either mimic or try and aspire to.
Let's do it, man.
All right,
Let me
hold
know
on
when
one
you're
second.